Alrighty, so the topic today is going to be something that I've expressed to all of my martial arts students and colleagues for years and years and years. As well as this also translates into someone's personal life. So I want to express that. And I'm going to first express my views on it, and then I'm going to use a clip to further drive that home. So here we go. As a martial artist, and not just as a martial artist, but as a professional fighter, I can say with certainty, absolute 100%, and generally you don't want to use those words, absolute, certain, with certainty, 100%. You know, those are type of words that actually kind of bind you a little bit, but without doubt, which is another one. I have learned more in my career as a fighter, my career as a martial art student, my career as a martial art instructor. I have learned more from my losses and my failures and my mishaps than I have ever learned from any success. Absolutely. And there's absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. My biggest accomplishments in martial arts, whether I was a fighter, whether I was a student, or whether I was an instructor, I can always trace back in some way to a horrendous fail or a horrendous loss in a fight. I can always draw on those experiences to help me become better. Now, winning is fantastic. Accomplishing your goals are great, but that does not always teach you as well or as proper or good as a complete flop or a loss. Those will teach you so much more. Now, there's many examples, and this works in daily life as well. It works in daily life. You can look at anything that happens to you in your daily life, and you should be able to trace it back to a fail or to a loss of some sort that has driven you to an accomplishment. So a perfect example of this would be my very first mixed martial arts cage fight. Very first one I ever accepted. I had little to absolutely no ground game whatsoever at the time. I had no Aikido whatsoever. It was strictly based mainly off of my will, my desire, and the martial arts that I had studied prior, which mainly was my Filipino Kali, and just my heart. That was a big part of it. And the fact that I wanted to do it. That's what I wanted to do. So I accepted a fight, knowing nothing about the guy that I was fighting. I did find out that he had over a dozen fights at that point. And I'd had 0 fights and 0 training, and he had been training for a considerable amount of time. But that didn't stop me. By no means. Actually, it encouraged me. So anyway, I took the fight. My first fight lasted I think around 2.5 minutes. I think my first fight lasted about 2.5 minutes, and maybe I'm giving myself a few seconds there, but it was somewhere around 2.5 minutes. I lost. So he went to put me in an arm triangle. He was going to put me in a triangle choke, and I didn't know what it was at the time. I had no clue what it was, and I didn't know what he was doing. But I saw an opening, and I took it. Well, when I escaped the triangle choke, I put myself right into an arm bar. And then again, I didn't know what I was doing anyway. So he put that arm bar on me and cranked it. He was not a nice guy. He was always one of those fighters that was a brawler, and he was just in there so that he could legally hurt somebody. That was his real only goal. But anyway, he got me with that arm bar, and he cranked it. Well, two things kept me from tapping. Me not knowing really what was going on. Well, maybe three things. Me not knowing really what was happening. Lack of experience, and stupidity. So I didn't tap right away. As a matter of fact, I didn't tap well into when I should have tapped. I was still stupid enough to think I could get out of it, even though I had no clue how to get out of it. So he kept cranking and nearly broke my arm. It actually was jacked up. I got some torn tendons out of that. But that was my fault because I should have tapped. But anyway, I lost that first fight within 2.5 minutes. I did last 2.5 minutes, which was about 2.5 minutes longer than anyone thought I was going to last. So anyway, I told myself right then and there, I said, when I fight again, because I knew I was going to fight again, I mean, I was hooked. But I said, when I fight again, I said, I will never get caught with an armbar again. I will never get caught with an armbar again. And I trained my ass off. And I never did get caught with an armbar again. My whole fight career, never did get caught with another armbar, which was directly related to a loss. Directly related to a loss. So just keep in mind that losses in life, things that happen that aren't what you see as positive, always can be turned around into something good and positive for a learning experience. So without further ado, I contacted the greatest master that I could find to express his opinions on this topic. And this is what he's got to say.
Heeded my words not, did you? Pass on what you have learned. Strength, mastery, but weakness, folly, failure also. Yes, failure most of all. The greatest teacher failure is.